Hi and welcome to I Love Mondays. I'm Angela Ambrosia, and today we're going to be looking at soulmates and commitment. So we're looking at the parts of yourself that you're exploring in the relationship, whether you're in a relationship or not. When you start to look at commitment, it's already going to be starting to show you what comes up to you for you when you think about the word commitment. Soulmates and that element of commitment is at the level of the soul, always going to be committed to what is it that your soul wishes to grow from. And at the personality level, it can be quite a different story. It can be very frustrating if you have a soulmate or a soul lover connection, and a soul lover is someone who is a soulmate but you also have a love, intimate relationship with. It can be very frustrating if you have that strong bond but you can't actually manage to make the relationship work in the real world. And as we're discovering in modern relationships, that there are a lot of strong bonds or committed relationships that aren't actually staying together because people can't actually stay with what's coming up for them, and because the learning or the growth that's happened in the relationship has actually come to an end. So previously, relationships were forced to try and stay together because we had social institutions that told us to do so. And we also had a culture that was much more required these solid foundations that were the basis of family and community. With the increasing rate of breakups and divorce and dual families now for co-parenting of children, we're realizing that relationships aren't necessarily what we think they are. So commitment becomes a whole kind of precarious place in the real world, in real world relationships. However, at the soul level, the soul's up there having a jolly good old time thinking, great, I needed you to break up in order for you to experience what was that next level of growth or healing that you required at the soul level. So in the soul, you're going to be experiencing the extremes of what you need to come here to learn about love. At any point, if you're having intense emotions or intense suffering, just know that that's your soul at work. It's your soul literally pushing through you the feelings and the understanding that you have to get at such an intense level. So it will be completely once and for all cleaned, finished and done for you in your life, both at the soul level and at the personality level. What's difficult at the personality level is that it hurts. It hurts when we have relationships where you have an intense connection with someone and you can't actually experience the beauty of love or the joy of love. You're experiencing a lot of other aspects of it, and you're experiencing betrayal or breakup or being treated in a way that's disrespectful. So soulmate connections have an intense array of feelings for us to explore who we are, and in terms of commitment, what are we committing to? If you've been in relationships and going through breakups, or going through seesawing through being committed to someone and not being committed to them, or really struggling to find a person who will commit to you and you're a commit-holic or someone who's born to commit, the thing is that your soul is actually trying to get through to you is to look at what are you committing to in yourself. So today in the exercise part of this video, we're going to look at the heart level, what it is that you are committing to, what it is that you're feeling is needing to be stood up for in your life, and what is this that you are bringing to your own relationship with yourself. Traditionally, we've been given structures of commitment, and those structures are melting right now. The foundation of marriage itself is shifting and transforming. And we're not seeing marriage as something that has to be fixed by an institution, but rather created by two people who come together and make a decision about what that is. So everything that you feel or think or want in commitment is really important to connect with. And I always, as we do a lot here on I Love Mondays, I always connect to my heart and go into a meditation practice and see, okay, just to ask a few questions to contemplate, what am I committing to in myself? Commitment today for modern relationships has to be from a place where you're inspired to commit to someone, because we don't have those social institutions now forcing us to commit, or we have a lot of hormones and chemicals that force us to think we should commit to someone. But after the chemicals start to go up and down and you start to see that you're falling in and out of love phases, there is that point where you're actually going to begin to commit to something more about defending what you need in the relationship, or defending who you are, what actually brings you joy. If you are in relationships where you feel like you're constantly sacrificing, those are the key relationships right now where people are going to really make some big choices. You may have seen around you that a lot of people have broken up, even couples that you thought were pretty solid, or people that you thought were pretty happy. Or have you experienced maybe that there's been friends of yours who've had partners that suddenly just pulled out of the relationship for reasons beyond their fathom or beyond what you could understand? A lot of people are being forced to go in and actually see what it is that I need in a relationship and what am I bringing to the relationship. How is the relationship serving me? So in the new relationships, we're actually going to start seeing how we can start structuring relationships physically very differently. They may not necessarily be monogamous, they may have to be monogamous. It just depends on the people. They may have to be not in the same country, they may be for a period of time and not for a period of time. They may have to be, especially if you're raising children, in a way that the parents can function at a better relationship level. So whether that's about the two of you resolving your crap and becoming more capable and available for your kids, or looking at how to function as co-parent families in a way that's functional at a mentally healthy level. Because those dual parent families where you've got a lot of stuff coming up is truly destabilizing mentally and emotionally, and it's not going to create kids or humans that are able to commit or to themselves or inspire others to do so. So we're going to have to ask with commitment, how am I inspired to commit to this person? And you can even just have a thought right now about someone who you are connected to, whether you're in the relationship or not with them. What is it that you are inspired to commit to in their journey? What inspires you to commit to their process, to be part of their process, to share your experience of life with them? When you ask that question and you feel what comes up for you about what you wish to commit to them, that's a really key sign as to what you're also looking for somebody or for yourself to see in yourself. And we're going to have a look at that. What are you committed to and what are you inspired to commit to? Modern relationships really need inspiration to commit. Modern relationships are going to become a place where two individuals can actually start to determine what is it that the relationship is going to become, rather than somebody else telling them what it should be. And in that process, you may actually realize that there's a lot of stories that you have about commitment. Where do these stories come from? They come from our ancestors, your parents, obviously, but their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents, until it goes to a place where we don't even know where it began. So those stories are something that really starts to interfere with the soul, and that's where the personality can come at odds all the time, at any second. You can have a random thought about, oh, my relationship should look like this, or I should be getting this from my partner, or I should be doing this for my relationship, or my relationship isn't working. Relationships don't always work. They're a process. So they're meant to be things that bring up stuff so we can process them. So the concepts of commitment can be quite, if you could just feel them, they're a part of the mind that starts to put an energy thought system in you, and that starts to actually tear things apart, and also drives you a bit mad because you keep thinking, I'm not this. So rather than thinking what you are, right, coming from an inspired place, any thinking habits where you're thinking you're not something else is a habit from your ancestors, which were forced to really create relationships based on commitment by society standards. And if you come from a culture where you have the freedom to create your own standards of relationship, then the responsibility becomes, what is it that you wish to commit to? At the soul level, the soul's always committed to your growth and your healing, to resolve whatever's not quite experienced yet. So sometimes you'll have extreme emotions, and these will be part of your soul's journey. I can guarantee you that any time you have those extreme, intense emotions, it's the soul literally trying to push through your emotional self, all of that stuff that you came to finish once and for all. And it may take a few years to do that, but it's going to keep doing that until it's complete. That's why some people think, why are these emotions still recurring? Why do I have constant depression? Why do I have constant trauma or anxiety? It's because your soul chose to really clear a couple of things that were intense, or maybe it didn't defend itself in a lifetime, so it's come to experience what defenselessness is like, and to finish that phase all together once and for all. So when it comes to what are you actually committing to, at the soul level, you're committing to that process. And the partners or the soulmates you attract have, at the soul level, also agreed to help you in your process of healing or knowledge of self. And this is where it gets interesting at the personality level, because you're going to hear your personality constantly trying to fit this greater aspect of yourself into a very small box. So that's where I always invite people, if they feel that they're actually trying to fit intense emotions into something that's really quite small, I invite you to truly just see that you're much more, and that the intense emotions are really required for you to access the intensity and the expansion of your total self, of who you truly are. So with the energy transfer exercise today, we're going to explore what part of you is actually feeling that role of commitment. For some of us, of course, it'll be in our heart chakra or our self, but there may be a part of you that's coming in other than the heart chakra that is truly trying to get your attention right now when it comes to going further in a relationship or committing to yourself more in the relationship. If you've been sacrificing yourself, that certain behavior certainly doesn't function very well in our new relationships, and the new relation I'm talking about, where we actually have inspired feelings to commit to someone. And so that may be one area where you notice that you've got to see more of what you came to commit to transforming, resolving, shifting, or just creating greater awareness about. So let's start by just breathing in and feeling the heart. So feeling in that center part of the chest. As you close the eyes, bring your awareness into the very center part of the body. So you may even feel a point below the surface of your skin, maybe about 3 or 4 inches below, in the center of the chest. And then with the breath, you can also bring that energy and awareness into the top of the crown, just above the head. So with the breath, as you're breathing into the top of the crown, exhale and take the breath down into the center of you, behind the center of the chest, 3 or 4 inches into the body. So just on the energy level with the breath, as you breathe in into the crown and as you exhale into the center of you, you're beginning to find that inner thread or connection with the breath. And this time, as you breathe into the crown, just see the golden light coming in from the top of the crown, all the way down to the center of you. Feel that golden light coming in from the top of the crown, all the way down the center of you. So let that center show you where your center is right now. It could be at the chest, it could be lower. Doesn't really matter. Just let the golden light come into your center so you feel it actually diving into who you are, your core. And if you haven't already, begin to explore taking the golden light further down the body, so down to the pelvis area. And then through the pelvis, down the legs into the feet and down into the earth. So now you can imagine, sense, visualize that golden light coming in from above the crown, down into your center, and down the lower body and the legs into the center of the earth. It's almost like with that golden light, you're simply committing to being here, now in your body and on the earth. And just notice where you feel that center in yourself. So now we're going to review any relationships where you would like to have commitment. Could be the relationship with yourself or a relationship with another person. So as you review the relationship, and if more than one relationship comes to mind, that's fine. Just ask, what is it that I'm committing to in that relationship? What am I committing to in that relationship? And now bring your awareness to yourself. What are you actually committing to in your journey in this relationship? What are you committing to in your relationship with yourself? Just contemplate. And as you contemplate this relationship with yourself now, or with the other person, whoever that be, what are you inspired to commit to in that person, whether it be yourself or the other person? What are you inspired to commit to? Whenever we're inspired, it lights up the light of who we are, and that light also shows us what we love. So literally see what you're inspired by right now in yourself or the other person. And you can visualize the golden light coming to surround that feeling, that image, that sensation in your body. And really affirm and feel it. Use the golden light to empower what inspires you. Whether you are in a committed relationship or not with this person, you can always commit to becoming someone who supports their journey and your journey. So the questions may become sometimes, what is it that I need right now to support my journey? And this inspired feeling will always be a resource for you. So noticing now that inspired action or feeling, notice how it makes you feel, where you may notice your body being more alive or energized. And ask for that feeling to become easily accessible to you at times when your personality or mind may say otherwise. You can actually visualize yourself connecting to this feeling in your everyday life, doing things that inspire you, or experiencing things by that person you're in a relationship with that inspire you. And then bringing your awareness back to the heart center. Feel the opening of that golden energy in the front chest. And feel it going deep again, about 3 or 4 inches inside you to the center. And feel it radiating out from the center of the chest in front. And just give gratitude for your ability to connect to what inspires you. Experience that in the chest. And when you're ready, just breathing in all the way from the top of the head and down the body through the feet to the center of the earth again. So contemplate commitment. What inspires you to commit? And if you do find yourself putting yourself in a box of a relationship, always question, is this box truly big enough for who I truly am? Thank you for joining. I'm Angela Ambrosia, and for the next series we're looking at communication. So when it comes to the soul, we often have the personality that has a certain way of talking, and at the soul we have a different way of communicating. So I'm going to explore with you my journey and experience with soul communication and the mind communication, because it can be quite interesting to experience that in relationships. And have a blessed week.